Hey folks, I know it's been a minute, right? Like, let me just tell you, it's been a month. It looks like the last time I uploaded a chat was St. Patrick's weekend. I cannot believe it. A lot of stuff going on. I wanted to catch up, let you know what's going on in life. But first, we're going to start off with a very messy Italian margarita. I'm not quite sure why it's glandy like that, but as long as it tastes good, we're gonna be ready, right? So that's it.
What you wanna be? Step 4. Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Yeah. I want this red. I only give it a little color, but I don't know, it's gonna make mess. That's okay, because messy can sometimes be good. Well, as you can see, it is Good Friday. Easter's coming up. Lots to be thankful for. Lots of things going on. So let's go ahead and get started here, okay? All right, but let me go ahead and get out of my garb here, okay? All right, hold on. There we go. So let me go ahead and get started to see where we were at last time. So I think last time I talked to you, folks, I said that I was going to be getting ready to go to Texas, right? Because my daughter's going to be having a baby. Well, she ended up calling me. It was a Saturday morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably about 4 days prior, 4 days early, then I was already planning to go out there, saying that baby's coming, mama. So there, me and Big Dog, because mama kept thinking about it. I go, I gotta get out there now. So I went ahead. My son texted me, said, you can get in the air. You can change your air flight or your flight 10 minutes before your flight. So I told Big Dog, you know what, I gotta go because I'm just sitting here spinning about it. So I was able to get out there. I was able to get a standby, get an early flight. I got out there a few hours after the baby was born. And just what a treat. Just a treat to be able to be there. And my daughter apparently was dealing with preeclampsia. She had that issue last time with Morgan. But with Theo, it's a little girl. Her name is Theodora Evie. I call her Theo, and she reminds me so much of my daughter when my daughter was born. Long, lanky, tiny little thing. They went back for her 2-week checkup, and the doctor says, she's a petite little thing. Yes, she is a petite little thing. And then while I was out there also, it was my Morgan's first birthday. Oh my gosh, my daughter and my son-in-law will have their hands full for some time. But that's life. This is a journey they're on, and I'm just glad that they're allowing me to participate in it. I'm so glad I was able to be out back there for 3 weeks. I was able to celebrate with my Morgan her first birthday. She is such a sweetheart of a baby, really good disposition. I wasn't quite sure when I tried to introduce her to her, take her little sister down there next to her. She wasn't quite sure about that. But she's just a sweetheart, my little buddy. Because I told the kids, I go, look, you tend to the newborn, I'll take care of Alex. Because Alex was just barely turning a year. And they were just moving into their place. And oh my gosh. And lots of stuff going on. So I was helping them with that, So I was helping them with, where I could help as far as the move, but really I was tending to Morgan. And it's like now I know why they say the young ones are the ones that have the babies. Oh man, hard work. Let me tell you, by the time I came back, I felt like my knees felt like I was walking on stumps. Because I tried getting in to get, because I was already starting to have issues. I had issues last year before we went to Aruba. And this is the time of year I tend to do a lot of traveling. And she had given me cortisone shots. This time I got them both knees. It got me through, but barely. Now I'm getting ready to fly again in May, but I can't even get in there until after I get back from back east. So I'm just, helping. It's been helping that I'm lifting up a 21-pound baby. I can't tell you how many times I lifted up that kid. Put her in the crib, take her out of the crib, put her in the crib, take her out of the crib, pick her up, put her down, put her up, it's what moms do. But I'm a Gigi. I'm not a mama anymore. But I'm so glad that I was able to be there and just see the new little baby, and to be able to spend time with my daughter and her son and my son-in-law and the two girls. It was just it was such a blessing. I'm glad that they felt that I was able to be helpful during this transition for them, because I really did enjoy myself over there. And then when I got back, life don't stop. It was Big Dog's birthday. Celebrate his birthday, one of his favorite places, Benihana. And I have to say, he had sake. That's the only time he has sake is when we go to Benihana. And we usually go for his birthday. That's like his favorite place. I go, don't you want to go someplace different? Because no, it's my birthday. That's where I want to go. Okay, Big Dog. But I was kind of disappointed. I mean, the service is usually pretty good, but it was the guy was great. The chef, I don't know what they call it, the teppanyaki guy. He was great, funny. But it's like there was such a lag time from the time they gave you your salad and your soup. There was almost like a 20-minute wait. And usually when you're even kind of finishing that up, they're already starting to cook. So the timing was just a little bit off, but I will say it was kind of funny seeing it's prom season. So you saw a lot of these young couples, and I'm sure the young men are a little bit nervous, and the girls are, all quite excited in their dresses. So that was kind of funny watching them youngsters going, trying to be all debonair and everything. But no, we had a good time over there. He did enjoy his dinner, which was important, because it wasn't about Gigi. It was about Big Dog. It was his birthday. The same day, my sister had come in. Her and her husband drove in from Colorado the day before Big Dog's birthday. So after my sister and her husband drove into AZ from Colorado the day before Big Dog's birthday, so we went over there to my mom's place, because that's where we were staying, and we celebrated Big Dog's birthday, had some cake, visited a little bit. Mom always likes to have girls in the house. The next day we went ahead and I took her out to where my dad was placed, because she hadn't been there yet. So we visited there a little bit. Then we went out. There's a Mimi's not far from there, so we went out to Mimi's for breakfast. And then she headed on her way back. They were only here for the weekend, but it was nice to be able to see them. It was nice that that they came out and visit and saw where my dad was at, and like I said, have a piece of cake and ice cream with Big Dog. That was nice. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize that it had been almost a month since I last recorded. And like I said, I've just been busy. Tomorrow, I'm supposed to be getting together for the Fat Five because it was Mo's birthday. So we're going to get together for dinner on Chandler. And then, of course, Sunday is Easter. So we're going to have a little brunch with my mom. So it's just been... April, the springtime seems to be really busy for me, and I'm not. Now they're going to get even busier, because now I'm going to have two birthdays to celebrate in March. Theo's is the 16th, and Morgan's is the 26th. 10 days apart. So I'll probably be out there for their birthday. I'll just stay out there so I can celebrate the birthdays. Not quite sure how they're going to do it, but they're probably going to do it to combine while they're still little. And as they get older, I'm thinking you really want to kind of separate it, so because they'll each have their own friends. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But while I was there, I was still dropping money, because you know why? We got teeth we got to be paid for. You like my teeth? That's right. Let's see. Let's see where they go. Well, let's hope that the work doesn't go as poorly as those teeth clatter. So let's go ahead and see how much money we have here. We're going to be dropping some money here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit as to, even though I was putting up clips of about what was going on, but I wasn't putting any clips about dropping any money. But I was doing electronic transfers for our $5,000 teeth challenge. So I'm gonna let you know where I'm at with that right now, and we're gonna go ahead and start getting back on track and be dropping some money. That's right. So let's first go ahead and see how much Gigi's gonna be dropping. And let me see, do I need my my calculator here, just in case I do. Clear that out. Okay. We got $200 here. Not bad. So let's go ahead and see what we're gonna do here. Put in my box, my fancy pens. Come on, stay open. Come on, stay open. Come on. What is the deal here? Okay, well, I know what pens I'm gonna need. Come on, get it together. And I think that's it for right now. There we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and the only one I was putting money in was my teeth challenge, because I gotta get that going. Put $10 in here. So, you know, as Easter's coming up, it's a time to be to look back as to your blessings and what you're thankful for. And really, me and Big Dog have a lot to be thankful for. You know, March was not an easy month for us. It was filled with loss, but so many blessings and things that I'm grateful for. You know, because that's life. You have your trials and tribulations of life, and if you're just gonna focus in on the negative, it's not gonna it's not gonna do you any good. And you know, you don't want to be doing that, because that makes, look. Emotions are emotions, and you're gonna feel the way you feel. Oh, there's a hummingbird. I love those hummingbirds. But the thing is, how you allow yourself to feel when you're mulling over something over and over again, that's really up to you. Now, we lost our jet. I'm still very sad about that. But I got this fantastic little baby that I cannot tell you. You know, I think as parents, you try to do your best. It's kind of a conversation I have with my daughter over there. You know, I was telling her like where we're at different places. She's now the mom. I'm now the Gigi. And the way she sees her children are very different the way I see my children. You know, I was getting up with my Morgan at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever time. And I just picked her up, held her, and just tried to put her back to sleep, you know, lay her back down. And of course, my camera is going off. Not quite sure what the deal is. So let's go ahead. Hold on 1 second. Let me go ahead and get my handy dandy phone here. There we go. I don't know what happened to the, you know, I like using the GoPro because it's a really good shot. But every once in a while, it just dies. I don't know why. So you're going to see the change in the cameras. But anyway, my phone up here is still working. But what I was saying is that, like I was telling her, me and her are at different levels as far as how we see the kids. You know, I'm a Gigi now. So to me, it's just like, I just appreciate the time to be able to hold her, to be able to be with her, to spend time with her, just look at her little face, you know, get a kick out of her personality, you know, and I remember as a young mom, you know, just trying to get through it, just, you know, that maybe my son needed something, or maybe it was vice versa. Well, she was the baby, so maybe my son needed something, and at that time, their dad was an offshore oil rig worker, so he was always home at times. You know, he would be gone for days at a time. So sometimes it was just me. Now, granted, there's a differential. I mean, she's got a year apart. But you sometimes are just in the zone and you're just trying to get through it. Unfortunately, that's what happens. That's what happened to me. So I told her, so when I see her, it's not a bother. I want to enjoy the time. I do enjoy the time with her. I just grab her and I just hold her and I enjoy myself. And I think that's the difference. you know, as a parent and as a grandparent. You, as a grandparent, I truly have an appreciation of the time, you know, that I have with the little one, of how fleeting it really is. You know, she's already a year. You know, my Theo already turned a month. You know, and I found it interesting as I was having this conversation with my daughter, you know, about that, and how it really, you know, those girls, you know, all my three, I don't want to call them musketeers. I'm gonna call them my mouseketeers. Now my aging myself, but I really cherish the time. You know, I still remember when Char was born, and when Charlie was born, I went out there and I just held that little girl in my arms, and it was such a feeling of bliss I had never had before. And that's the same feeling every time I see her. You know, she's my first one. Yeah, I love that kid. She's a character. She's funny. She's creative. She's unique. You know, I just get a kick out of her. You know, but each one of them give me something, and I hope in turn that I can convey and I can, you know, share with them something. Maybe just my time to let they know that their Gigi loves them. Anyway, okay, now I'm getting all off track. I'm supposed to be saving money here for Keith. Oh yeah, maybe have a drink now and then, right? Okay, here we go. So let's see here. I think I was going to put $93 in here. But before I do that, let me tell you this. While I was gone, I was able to save. We had started at 1266, and by the because we were. So I left her like on March 16th. Drop. So we started at 760. Okay, $760 is what I had in here. Right before St. Patrick's Day, and between the drops, the electronic transfers that I was doing, I now have 1371 because I was just pushing. I did an $85 drop, I did a $130 drop, 125, 225 drops, a $41 drop, and recently it did a $53 drop. So it's getting up there. $2,600 is what I'm shooting for, and my goal is to get that by the end of the month. End of the month? Wait, where we're never? Yeah, I gotta get it by the end of the month. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. So we're gonna go ahead and drop in another $93. So 1371. Do I have any paper up here? No, Gigi, you ain't got your stuff together. Here, do I have a calculator on this thing here? I have my iPad here. Let me see. Hold the phone. I think there's a calculator on that. Oh yeah, here it is. So 1371 plus 93 equals 1464. Ooh, that's cool. Let me come on. I think I want to throw a little bit more money in here before we leave today, but let's go ahead. So 418 and 93, and we are now at 1464. That's cool. All right, so let's go ahead and put that in here. That's cool. Nice. Little by little. And then, of course, we're going to be dropping some money into our holiday savings. There's a little clip there. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was 19 years that me and the big dog met on Match.com. That's right. I winked at him. He came. He winked back. And the first place that we did, I did like a meet and greet. Just didn't even drink, just had Coke. That was it. You know, I was on Match maybe 3 months. I wasn't on there that long. It was really, you know, because Gigi's on a budget. Gigi had a 90, was it 3 month? I think like a 3 month introductory offer. Discounted rate. Because the reality is, I had not dated. I met my first husband. He was my next door neighbor. I was 13 years old. What the hell do you know when you're 13 years old?
Not much.
We were married for over 23 years. 2 kids. No regrets. Good time. We just, you know, life happens. I think we just outgrew each other. We were so young when we met each other. And it was just time. And that's fine. You know, sad to say that he did pass. But like I said, I have no regrets. Because my kids are the best. And I learned a lot by myself during that relationship. And you grow up during that time. So, all good. Okay, here we go. 40. So, anyway, I was 48 years old. I had not been divorced very long when I met Mr. Big Dog. In fact, me and my daughter had come home from seeing Muslim Dogs. And she asked me, Mom, when are you going to start dating? How do you date? How do you date nowadays? I wasn't going to go to a bar. I was 48 years old, newly divorced, still had my kid at home. Had my son was still, going to school. So, okay, so I was just curious. Match.com. Oh, 90-day, 3-month introductory offer. Okay, so, I went on a few dates. In fact, a lot of them are younger than me. In fact, this friend of mine, Tiffany, she said, you got to start dating guys like closer to your own age. I said, why is that? I said, I'm not dating anybody as young as my son. I'm not going to do that. She goes, no, you got to date somebody your own age. So when I met Big Dog, I came back to the office. I said, well, because we always kind of, she was going through a divorce, same time I was going through a divorce. So she was dating, same time I was dating. So we'd always kind of give each other, like, where we're going to be at, who we're going to meet, what we're going to do. So I told her, I was going to meet this guy, blah, blah, blah. And so I went into work, on the following day. And she goes, so how'd it go? I go, well, he's older than me. And then she goes, he is? How much older? And then I go, 10 years older. And she goes, I don't mean that old. I always think that's funny. But no, I didn't think he, because his energy was not like 10 years older than me. In fact, when he told me how old he was, I was like, it took me a minute because I'm thinking, I don't know, do I really want to date a guy that old? And like he would say, stick with me, kid. Really? Stick with me, kid? I don't know about that. So we went out yesterday. We've been together since then, 19 years. And, you never know. I think sometimes life, if you're lucky enough, sometimes life will give you what you need. Maybe it gives you what you need because you're supposed to be learning lessons from that experience or that person. At least that's what I believe. And I will say I have learned many lessons in my relationship with Mr. Big Dog. And part of the reason why I believe is because he allows me to be me. Like my mama says, be who you want to be. Well, that's easier said than done. Well, I have a little bit of money here. How much was I going to put? Oh, I was going to put some more for the tea. And, one of the things I told my daughter when she was dating, first impressions, the way the man shows up the first time, or the boy, the guy, whatever you want to call him, ain't going to get any better. 9 times out of 10, that's who he is. Don't think you're going to change him. You ain't going to change him, honey. He's going to show up the way he shows up. And they're very, very real about that. We're the ones, oh no, all he needs is a good woman. Oh, I can change him, because all he needs is me. But that's not true. Because they're going to be who they're going to be. So, the two things, first impression, that's who he is. Second, is don't think you're going to change him. Because what I found in Gigi, this is only Gigi. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a professional. This is just Gigi during her life journey, sharing information that she shared with her girl. That's all I'm saying. And a couple of things that I learned is that males will sometimes go in a relationship not wanting the partner to change. They don't want the girl to change. They like the girl just the way they are. The way you present, they love you. They love you that way. We, on the other hand, as females, because, we're a whole lot smarter. We're going to change him. I see his potential. I know what he could be. All he needs is a good woman. All he needs is me. And that's where the fly is in the ointment. I think it's something like that. And I from experience, I know this to be true. Because in my first marriage, he was a very smart man. I saw so much potential in him, but he never saw. He didn't see what I saw. Well, that was my bad, not him, because he was presenting just who he was. He was. That's who he was. But I saw more. And when I met Big Dog, I had after some time, and learning new things and being more aware of myself and whatever shortcomings I have, and I I started realizing that men are just showing up the way they are, at least the ones I had met. And it was up to me as to whether or not I wanted to say yay or nay. So, what because I asked him, as we were sitting there having been together for 19 years, not that we were married all that time, but I'm saying from that moment, we knew there was something different. I remember the conversation we had at Chili's over Coke because the reason why we ended it early is because I had a date later on that day. In the evening. I had another meetup at Starbucks. So, hey, you don't know what you don't know. You got to go out there and, see what's out there. So, there was just, I was able we talked about so many different things. We talked about traveling. We talked about, our kids. We talked about our first marriage. There was like no stumbling, no dead air, was nothing. And the other thing, people have sometimes said I've got like a hard stare. I don't think I have a hard stare. It's just like, don't bullshit me. I'm going to look you in the eye. Don't bullshit me. I think that's what it is. And he never turned away. And besides the point that I've always been a sucker for blue eyes, but he never turned away, And so I asked him, I go, so when did you think this might be different? He tells me, when you let me keep coming around. So if I said no, that was going to be it. But I thought it was funny he said that because the reality was I hadn't even been divorced a year. And how I presented to him, he told me he was not looking to get involved with somebody who had a child in the house, which I still did. I had my daughter with me. And he did not want to date anybody that had not been divorced a year. I hadn't been divorced a year yet. I think my marriage was already gone by the wayside for over a year. But as far as the finality, it hadn't been a year yet. It was going to be a year that August. And this was like in April that we had met. Oh, yeah, April. So I told him, I go, what told me that this was going to be something was in our relationship, probably about September or October, because my daughter was a senior in high school. Because he had been a transplant from San Jose. We lived in the Central Valley of California. And he tells me that they're going to be sending him back to the San Jose area. And I told him, I go, well, I ain't moving. We weren't living together. We were just dating. And, we knew we had something. We weren't quite sure. And I told him, I go, well, I'm not moving. I got my girl still in school. This is her senior year of high school. I go, I'm not moving. So to me, it's like, you decide, man, but I ain't moving. I'm here. I'm with my girl, and she has priority right at this point in time. So then, without missing a beat, the man says, I'll come down on weekends. Yeah, right. You're going to be traveling 2 hours every weekend to come see me. Really? Okay, whatever. Adios. He showed up. Every week, he only missed 2 weekends, and one had to do with work. The other one had to do, he was having some bad issues with his eyes and diabetes anyway. Yeah, I think it was only 2 weekends, but he always showed up. I told him, because we were talking about this the other day when we were at Chili's. I go, you have to realize you were coming into a situation where you had 2 females that were kind of looking at you like, yeah, right, you're going to show up. So when he did, every time he showed up, it told me, this guy's solid. This man is doing what he says he's going to do. Wow. How refreshing is that? And he did it all the way until my daughter graduated from high school. And by that time, I knew that I would be moving to the San Jose area. And I told my daughter, I go, look, these are your options. I want you to come with me, or you can go with your dad because he was still in Central Valley, or we could talk to your nana. She goes, no, I'm going with you. And I'm so glad that she came with me because to me, it gave her a glimpse into a healthy relationship. Because she stayed with us until we moved to Arizona. Yeah, right before we moved to Arizona, she had been with me all that time. Um, but the man did show up. So ladies, make sure he's showing up for you, big or small. Make sure he's showing up. And the other thing that he was saying that I will always appreciate is that he showed up for my daughter as well. And now my girl calls him that's her bonus dad. Because you know, divorce is never easy on a kid. It never is. But to have somebody who's outside of that arena is coming in and saying, I want to show up for you, that speaks volumes to people. And to me and my daughter, to see that he's showing up for my daughter, that like, how can a man not melt my heart? So anyway, I don't know how I got into that, but anyway, ladies, remember, a guy presents the first impression that's his best. Do not go into a relationship thinking you're going to change him because he ain't going to change. And let me tell you something else. He don't want you to change. So present who you are, but don't expect for him to change. Not going to happen. Okay, that's all. All right, so here we go. So here we go. Let's see. 40, 50, 55, 57. Do I have 50? $57. $57. We'll go and put that in here. That's cool. Little by little, it's adding up. So let's see here. $57. Let's see if Gigi can add this up without having to use her handy dandy calculator. 57. So that's going to be 11. Carry the 1. That's 12. Carry the 1. 15, 21. Boom. That's right, baby. It is adding up. So 418, 57. Oh, we're good. I think we're going to do just fine. So anyway, I think that's all we got. Gigi did quite a bit of chatting. Like I was saying, as far as this is with the Easter weekend, to be mindful, of our blessings and, new beginnings. And I just cannot, I'm so grateful for everything that I have in my life, for my big dog, for my kids, for my family, my mom, folks, very, very appreciative, very, very thankful. But my 3 Mouseketeers, Gigi, my Charlie, my Morgan, and my Theo. Oh, I got a quote, and it's going to be for my girls. We get older, we start to realize our time is fleeting. But I wanted to make sure that I am leaving my girls with this. Stop that. If I could give you only 3 things, I would give you the confidence to know how unique you are, the strength to always be true to your dreams, and the love to never feel alone. That's what I want my girls to have. If I could give you only 3 things, I would give you the confidence to know how unique you are, the strength to always be true to your dreams, and the love to never feel alone. That's all I want for my girls. I can appreciate all those ideas because I know when my daughter was small, one of the things I used to tell her, when you tell your kids when they're getting ready to go to bed, you talk to them, do blessings, whatever you can, whatever you do. I always tell her, I go, you are funny, you're a character, you're unique. That was the word I always told her. You're unique. Because I do believe we are kind of like snowflakes. Not one of us are the same. We're all kind of unique that way. So that's kind of what this one, when I heard, I don't know who the quote comes from, but I just liked it. And the strength to always be true to your dreams, because Gigi lived in a box for a very long time. And I don't want my girls to be that. I want my girls to color outside the lines, step out of the box, go out on the ledge, lean into the curve. I want them to do all that stuff. But I want them to know how loved they are. So that's what I wish for my 3 blessings for this Easter holiday. Well, folks, I think I chatted long enough. That was a long video. But I wanted to know I was thinking about you on this Easter weekend. I hope that you're good to yourself. Gigi's, she's always got your back. Remember, your work is just up there, tits up. You got this. It's Fearless Friday. Not only is it Good Friday, it's Fearless Friday, man. So you go out there, you be fearless, and you do your dreams, and you dream them out of those boxes. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this one's for you. Tits up. Have a good one. Happy Easter. Good Friday. This one's for you. Ciao. I'll see you folks next.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.